Hello! Welcome to my craft room. My name is Deanna Gonzalez and I'm so excited to be back in the swing of things, feeling a lot better. I did plan on jumping into things a little sooner than I was ready, and Carlos did make me take just a few more days off than I was ready to take, but I'm glad I did because now I'm just feeling a whole lot better. Flu is gone, so that's good. And I hope you guys are staying well, and if you're not, that you're going to get through this flu quickly because it's no fun, right? But while being sick, I did have some fun ideas popping through my head. So of course, the first video here, I'm going to be showing you a few different techniques. They aren't by any means brand new, but there might be a little uniqueness to it. You'll see what I mean in a little bit. I'm not sure, I haven't seen what's out there, but hopefully this will be a fun project for you. So I did go ahead and take, I'm taking 3 Stampin' Up! Sets, the Positively Chevron for the background, the Flowering Flourishes, as well as the 5-way flower that has the matching punches to make it so it's really easy to cut it out. And I did go ahead and I did make, okay, instead of just going and finding like the paint that would go well with each of the cardstocks, for each company, what I did do is I just went ahead and took white acrylic paint and my reinker. And doing this makes it so that it will match. So say Stampin' Up! I can match all the Stampin' Up! Colors, close to my heart. Same thing, wherever you can buy reinkers, you can do this. And I'm not going to do pistachio pudding like I did in the original card that we're making together, because I want you to see something in the technique of how to sponge the stamp to give it a little bit of texture. And I think the pink will really pop out. So, but I did do pistachio pudding, and I'll show you what I did with that. But here are the cards. I am going to be basically making this one, and I've got the cute little inside here. Isn't that lovely? And then what I did here, I did a technique, the kissing technique, but in this one I actually used this stamp to do a kissing technique to make it so that I could have a design in this solid flower, right? But this one, I did a kissing technique, but instead of using a stamp, I used something else, and we'll see if you like how that turns out. So I did use, again, I used pistachio pudding to get this look, and today we're going to be doing a different color to pop it out, but when we do the actual card, you'll see a great little thingy here. So let me get my sleeves sort of up because this can get a bit messy. And so what I'm going to do is go ahead and we'll work on the background first, because if you're going to be doing this at home, you're going to want it to dry. So I do plan on being a little messy today, So I'm just going to put a little bit of paint, and since I'm only going to be doing this, once, instead of like many times over, like a lot of times if I do something this messy, I want to do a lot of projects. I'm going to be doing a lot, but I'm not, so I'm not going to put a ton. So let's just see. I like to do like a few, so that's like, a few drops here, about 5 maybe, and just see how it is, because you cannot go lighter, but you can always go darker. So, and this is that's actually really pretty. With the pistachio pudding, I actually had to do a whole lot. But yeah, it looks like this is actually going to turn out really, really beautiful. And it'll go really well with the cardstock, of course, which I think is wonderful. So just getting that like nice and mixed, and that's gorgeous. And I'll just take some of it with the sponge, get that off. Slap my sponge in there. So hopefully I won't messify stuff with that. Just move that out of the way. So I am going to go ahead, and I've got my nice little background paper here. Move these for now. And I'm going to take the border stamp. Now, a good idea for when you're cleaning the paint off of your stamp, if you just take a toothbrush, using the Stampin' Up! Mist Cleaner with a toothbrush and water, of course, you can actually get it pretty clean. I did find just using water didn't work as well, but if I use water to get the worst of it and then use the spray and a toothbrush, comes off pretty nicely. So we're just going to be daubing here. And I did want to show you something actually before we go through with all of this. Here's an example of just painting and stamping, as if, you're just stamping with ink. As you can see, you've got your solid lines here. Looks really pretty, absolutely solid. Here, I did a different technique where I actually took this scratchy brush and just kind of hit it against the ink here. So, had the paint here and just kind of hit it around to be able to just sort of get a rougher look. And then on this card, I did what I'm going to show you, the technique of just sort of swiping the sponge after you ink it, and that gives it a really fun little look, but I wanted you to be able to see the difference. And then once getting that background, I just daubed with this sponge, just daubing a little bit of the paint. That way it gives us, we're going to have like a fun little painted background here, and it's going to give it a whole new look that combines with it. So going back to the paint, we're just going to come in, and this is such a pretty color, isn't it? I just love it. And I just want to make sure that I definitely get the paint on first before I play around with swiping about so that it's definitely covered. I really, really want this to be covered. Now I'm just going to go like this, and as you can see, I'm making lines, and these lines are going to give it just an extra pizzazz, an extra texture to it, which I'm going to really love. So making sure we keep, our surface careful, and of course I'm using my rolly thing. Now I just take my little spaghetti stick, and because I don't want to touch this, but I do want to have it come off. So get it just started peeling, and then I'm just going to try not to touch it too much, but as you can see, now it's got a little bit of like the lines going on it, and you can rough it up a lot more. You could always paint again, roll it and paint it and see how that looks. But it's really fun. You just want to set that aside to make sure it can dry on its own. And I'll be cleaning this huge mess later on. We won't be doing that right now. But just so you get the idea, you don't always have to use the re-inkers with the ink pads. You can do some fun stuff with that. So now that we got that painted, I would definitely suggest taking, your card. That would be, just a piece of paper cut in half and then scored. So, it's like 4 1/4 by, what? Half by 11 by 4 1/4, and then scored at the 5.5 mark. And then just daub the edges with the sponge, and that will look really pretty. And then set those aside to dry. You definitely want those to be drying really well before you play with them any further. So I did want to show you what the actual kissing technique looks like first. So, well, actually, since I'll be mixing colors. Well, I'll just clean it when I'm done, just so you can see. Okay, so what I did with one of the cards, this one right here, I just did the kissing technique with the actual stamp. Okay, so when you do a kissing technique, you're going to want something that's rather solid. I know this has the insides, but it's got the solid petals here. And we're just going to ink this up really well, right? So that we got a good amount of ink. And we're just going to press it onto the stamp, and now it's taken off stuff and we have a design. And to get the faded look in the flower here, I just kept stamping on the same piece of paper, not re-inking, and then I'm going to also get the exact same design in all of them. And I really liked that, and I thought that was a lot of fun to do. I know I've done that technique before, but in case you haven't seen it in a while, it's a lot of fun. So that's what you would do if you're going to be doing like a stamp kissing technique. Now, this is what I did. I did something a little different. I decided that I wanted a really rough kind of, not necessarily a solid stamp kind of texture, to go with my paint look and stuff. I just took a big piece of paper and crumpled it until I got it to be like this, right? I know you don't really think of crumpled paper as being part of your stamping technique, right? So I am going to go ahead and just get this inked up really nicely. So I've got some good ink. And I'm going to hold my crumpled paper like so. and just sort of press my stamp in here and kind of like wiggle it a bit, making sure I get some texturing. So now I'm going to go ahead and do the stamping the 3 ways again. But look, you can see I've got this great little, you know, messed up look to it. That's just really, I really think it's cute. So that is a lot of fun, and you can always just find random things. What made me think of it actually was my husband was looking at photography site stuff, and we saw somebody just crumpled a bunch of foil and put a light on it, and that ended up looking like a background that looked like a bunch of diamonds, or like if you blurred it really well, it just looked like a bunch of lights in the background. And I was like, oh, I wonder if I could just do the foil, you know, on the flowers. And I was like, wait, you know what? Like maybe instead I could do paper and do the kissing technique. So that was the primrose petals that I did the main flower with. And then what I did to make this cute little flower is I just took the 3 punches that go with it, that go with the size. So basically you would just take, you know, this one, the largest one here, and I'll have the sizes on my blog so you can check that out if you're not sure. But you know, you just come in and like and lay it just so, and then you can punch it. And you do that for each of the different sizes to get the different, and you know, if you wanted, say, the lighter and you go darker, you would just start with this one, you know, this one right here, the bigger one, and go smaller and smaller. So yeah, that's what I did with that, but to save time I won't punch them all out. So that way you get your little 3D flower, and I just used a beautiful rhinestone that has like glitter in it that Close to My Heart had, that I just thought was so pretty. So to decorate our beautiful card, I will decorate the inside first, and I will go ahead and just use this as background for what I'm stamping. Let's see, maybe I should go more like this. Alright, so I'm just going to get a little bit of a border on here. I think that would be really pretty. And something that you might want to take note when doing this on the actual you know, painted thing, you're going to get a lot more of a texture to it, but it gives it a lot of character, I feel like. So, and since I'm trying to give this character, you know, and texture to it, you know, it works out okay. You know, I like the not quite all the way done look. So I will first attach this and then stamp the corner, because I liked the idea of it all coming together like that. So maybe what I'll do first is just attach the inside. So we have that there. We'll just use a tape runner real quick, and then we can just slap that in there and be done with our inside. But it does give it a lot more character, just having a little bit of the corners stamped, I feel like, on the inside. It just kind of gives it that, oh, hello, and you can always stamp your sentiment right here in the middle and, you know, add a lot to it. And that can be cute too. And we'll go ahead and attach this. And I wanted to point out something that Tina pointed out to me on the blog. She had a hard time with spaghetti sticks breaking, and I don't know why. I haven't really had a huge trouble with that, right? Because I don't know why. You'd think I would. I break it off when it gets too built up and I have problems. But if you're having trouble with it breaking, she said, what about, you know, one of the wooden skewers, that she uses that, and that works really well. So I will be trying that at some point. I haven't done it yet, so just to make sure I don't screw up in front of a video. But that is something that Tina had mentioned, and thank you, Tina. It's a great tip, especially since spaghetti sticks can break a lot, and you know, I'm sure, you know, over time, you know, that wooden skewer would just be really useful. So I do like to put a little bit of the glue on the edges just to make sure that it doesn't have popping up on the edge. I really do have a hard time when that happens. It just kind of drives me a little crazy. Not, you know, to the insanity level, but, you know, I don't really like the look. So I'm just going to go in here and put this here. And I had thought about turning this into a Valentine's card, and you still could definitely do that. You know, just put a sentiment up on the top. But I was thinking, like, I have so many things right now that I needed, you know, thank yous for, and just, you know, a, hey, I appreciate you, you know, kind of thing. So I wanted to do this instead this way, so that it could be, you know, multi-usage. Here we go, I'm looking for this. So yeah, that's what I did. So we're just going to come in here and get our little corner stamped. And I really liked how this kind of went along with the flower, you know, theme that I'm going with here. So just get that on. And I love the way it just kind of has sort of like, it doesn't quite fit like it's not totally solid, so it has its own little character. And I did go ahead and already stick some things down, just some clear sticky bits. So just going to come in here, and I think I want to do it very much in the corner. So, wait. And I like it there. So as I say, you could definitely put a sentiment here, but isn't this a fun way to play with paints, re-inkers, and, you know, the kissing technique in a rather bit of a different way. So I hope you like this idea, this card. I think it's beautiful and a whole lot of fun to do, and playing with paint again, it's a lot of fun, you know. I miss, you know, the finger painting I did as a kid and stuff. So anyway, I hope you like this card. I think it's beautiful and fun to make. So please join me on my blog if you've never seen any of my videos. You know, please come to my blog at deannascraftroom.com and see what else there, because there are some things that I can't give on the video, such as, you know, different you know, color combinations, you know, swatches, and some card layouts, and then just some different posts I've done that I didn't do an actual video for. So if you need some more ideas, and I've got a gallery there. Otherwise, I hope you will be, you know, staying tuned for the next videos I'll be doing. I still have some fun ideas, and hopefully you'll have some fun crafting with me. So have a great day, and it's really great to be back. I hope you have fun crafting. So goodbye.